Welcome! We're out here in the Ashokan Reservoir again today. We got a bunch of different rapalas, a few other crankbaits and stuff. I'm not totally sure what we're going to do just yet. The water's really low and it's been a really drought year. Haven't been out too much with buying the house, so I'm just trying to get a feel for it. It is starting to cool off. It's still hot, but it's cooling off at night, and I got a feeling I'm going to do all right today. So just stay tuned, keep watching. I think we're going to have a fun video, and we'll see you later. Let's go get some fish. Okay, hopefully you're still recording good. Hopefully this thing records good. Hopefully that's still set up and wide like it should be. Just nervous. I got all these things messed up from flying drones and crashing them 100 times, and my GoPros are all beat to hell. All right, we're gonna start off today. We got an old school rapala shad wrap. I think it's a number 7. It gets down 15 feet. It's pure balsa wood, no rattles. I'm just gonna start off with this till I get out a little deeper, and then we'll see what we're gonna do. And we'll just leave our bail open and let out a lot of slack. Let it get way behind the boat. Oh, we marked some big fish too. Wow. We just had a couple of big marks down there. At about maybe 25 feet or so deep. We're in about 30 feet of water now. Definitely want to make sure our drag is set right and our pole is in the holster right, because that was a big mark. That was a very big mark. Okay, let's get this guy out. Then get everything straightened up again. Wow, we're marking lots of big fish down there. Oh, it's splashing out there. It looks like it's pretty good. Got this other line I gotta contend with. Ooh, baby, stay on there, please, Jesus. It's a nice one. And it's way out there because I let all that line out. Whoo! I think this was the plain balsa wood shad wrap, 15 feet. Oh, and some nice head shakes. Let's get our drag loosened up now. It's getting closer. Keep that line tight when I get the net. Staying down. After that first jump, it went back down, and it's just staying down. We're starting to get the leader back. Looks like a nice. Right, he's gonna be hard to get splashing like that with this big lure in his mouth. Stay down there then. Yeah, that's what I would prefer. Ooh, please, Jesus, let me get this fish. This would be a wonderful birthday present for Scotia, whose birthday is coming up soon. She loves smallmouth. Ooh, this is a nice one. Got the leader back again. And he's about to pull that knot back again. Get tired. Get tired. Please don't jump anymore. There we go. Got my other line right at the very end of that. Okay, I think he got himself off in the net. Thankfully, he was already in the net. All right, let's get him in the bucket. Pretty good one. Nice way to start the day. All right. Whew. For my wife, Scotia's gonna be really happy to have this. Here's the deeper lure. There we go. Oh, it's coming to the top. It's gonna jump. Stay on there. Oh, please Jesus, let me get this fish. Make my wife so happy. Come on, baby, stay on there. There we go. Alright, both hooks in them. Not too bad. I don't think it's as big as the first one, but still pretty decent. Yep, about half the size of the first one. Nope, that's a fish on there. It's a teeny fish. It's a little guy, but he's on there. Almost looked white belly, like it's a white bass or maybe a small trout. I don't know. Probably just a little smallmouth. Let's see, he's getting closer. Little baby smallmouth. Man, baby, you're gonna get bit. You're gonna get eaten by some of these fish hanging out here. Oh my God, stop. Throw on your back, little guy, chill. Alright, little guy. Oh, little guy, catch you. See you in a couple years, buddy. Didn't mean to back flop you there, trying to head dive you. Okay. thing down deep too. Ooh, feels like it's really big. Holy shit, we got a big fish here. We got a big fish here. Oh boy, please Jesus, let me get this in. I don't even know what it is yet. This was down really deep. I think it was a 28-foot wally diver with 12-pound braided line and fluorocarbon leader, so it probably had to be like 32, 33 feet deep. It's one of those huge things we were marking were down before. I got a feeling that whatever this is, those were. It's just coming in now, but it's like bullheaded. It's very hard. It's not a bullhead. It's very strong. Oh God, yeah. Just gotta drag a little looser now. It's closer to the boat. I'm kind of glad I didn't get the other line out yet. Please Jesus, let me get this guy in. Ooh, the wind is really picking up. Getting back to our leader. Oh. It's a rainbow trout. Fucking A, baby. Look at that hook right in the mouth too, right in the tip of the mouth. Yes. Ooh, I got a rainbow trout. Hell yeah. Thank you, Jesus. All right, where's my pliers? Where do my pliers make off to? Nice rainbow trout down deep behind that boat, baby. All right, let me just cut this line. Let's get tangled in the net. See if we get him off of this. Getting tangled in the hooks in the net. All right, let's get this one out the side. The net always pushes it into there on them, these big lures. And then we gotta get the one out of his mouth. There we go. Nice rainbow trout. Pretty happy with that. Woo! As soon as I put that thing out, it got hammered. Yes! This is a pretty good trip today. A bunch of nice bass, a nice rainbow trout. Hoo-wee! I bet there ain't too many people out there fishing a crankbait that's getting down 35 feet with no weight. That thing will float right back up to the top. Woo! Whooping on them today, baby. Ooh. This one feels like a bruiser too. Let's see if we can get this one in without getting that other line tangled. This feels like a monster. This is that shad rap that caught those smallmouth before. Oh, my hair is in my eyeballs. Fall in the water backward. Whoa, yeah, that was a nice jump. I always get nervous when bass, especially smallmouth, are jumping with such big lures in their mouth. It's really easy for them to spit them. Or a lot easier Please, Jesus, let me get this guy in. Keep the line tight. Get closer, I'll loosen it up a little. Oh, that's a big bass. That is a nice bass. Let's check this guy in the net. All right, we got our leader coming in. Something big just splashed out there too. Oh, fuck me. There we go. Almost lost him. That's a pretty decent bass right there. Oh, hammered that shad wrap. Woohoo. Nice. Very nice. Let's just cut this. Got a little easier for me. Alright, let's flip this. Flip you on out of there. Ooh, he still got that lure in his mouth though. That's some great fuck, okay. Yep, flail around and get me hooked too. Scary. Jesus Christ, this is scary. Alright, chill out, chill out, chill out. There we go. Oh yeah, that got up in there. Alright, well, I couldn't release you if I wanted to because you got the 1 kilo hooked up. But I probably wasn't going to release you anyway, so. Alright. Pretty nice bass. Okay, we got 3 nice bass in there and a nice rainbow trout. Having a pretty good day out here trolling around in the Ashokan Reservoir. Whew. And I am happy. Alright, we're gonna call this a trip right here and just head home. We got a nice rainbow trout, we got a bunch of nice bass. We had a really good day. I had a lot of fun. Look at this bass, oh my God. Here's the other one. Let me grab some of these bass out of here and show them to you. Didn't have a good chance of showing it off when I caught them because it was so windy, but I mean, yeah. We got some nice bass again. We got a lot of good bass up here, huh? I had a lot of fun out here today. I'm gonna get these home, get them cleaned up. They're all gonna be part of Scotia's birthday because she loves these so much. All right, let's get these back to the kitchen. We'll see you there. Okay, so we got our trout here. We're gonna do a quick measure on this guy, and then we're gonna do a quick cleaning on him. Okay. Hold it up this way. Hopefully y'all can see. So he's about 18 inches, just a little over 18. Not too bad. All right. So I'm gonna start off. I'm just gonna start scaling. I always start at the tail. Take my knife and it's almost like shaving it. And I just rub the edge of the knife along the skin. This rainbow trout was a real blessing today. I was catching a lot of nice smallmouth in about 40 feet of water with a lure that goes about 15 feet. And with my setup, it was probably getting about maybe 17 feet deep. And I kept marking all these nice schools of bait that were getting hammered. I could see big fish hammering them. It was about 35 feet deep. So I took a lure I have it get about 28 feet deep, this little Wally diver thing. And with the braided line and fluorocarbon leader, it actually gets about maybe 32, 33 feet. And I cast that out. I trolled around maybe a minute or two, and then bang! Had a really nice fight. I thought he was going to be a lot bigger, although I'm still happy with it. And got him in, and it was this guy. Nice rainbow trout. Very happy with this. Going to be a birthday dinner for my wife, Scotia. who has actually cleaned all those smallmouth bass we caught earlier today. Scotia cleaned them up for me. I forgot to measure them though, so I kind of made a boo-boo. But they were all much bigger than this trout. Okay. And I'm just going to give it a quick flip and scale the other side. In case y'all are wondering, I have a little bucket of water over here that the fish was in, and I'm cleaning my knife in. Eventually, we're going to set up a nice fish cleaning station outside with a hose that hooks up to an old sink and a garbage thing and light and all that, but we haven't had time yet. We're still busy doing a lot of stuff in the new house. In fact, the other day, we already got our first leak that I had to fix and tar. Me and Scotia were up on the roof. But it looks like that's good now. Oh yeah, I'm very happy that we caught this rainbow trout today. This is a wonderful, wonderful catch. Okay, we're going to take this over to the sink and give it a quick rinse, and then we're going to cut the guts out. We'll see you over there. Okay, rinse this guy out. Get all the scales off him. These rainbow trout are gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. One of my favorite fish and one of my favorite places. Alright, see a few small scales that we missed that we'll touch up. Alright, let's bring it back over there. Alright, so we got this guy rinsed off. Now we're just going to cut the guts out and cut the head off. So like I do with most fish, I start in the butt. Just poke my way in. Work my way up past the fins. It's a little hard for me to do it facing this way. I usually do it facing myself. I want y'all to be able to see. All right, up to the tip. And we just rip out the guts. And get them up towards the head. Now when we cut the head out, most of these guts will come right with it. So we just get our knife. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this or not, but there's a gill right here. And then behind the gill, there's another gill plate that goes down to the fin. And you want to start your head cut behind that. Get that right in there. Work your way back towards the head. Careful with your fingers. And get at least halfway through the spine. Then we'll flip it and we'll do the same thing from the other side. We've got the gill and then the little gill plate that's with the fin. And just tuck it in there, kind of like an armpit. Downward angle back towards the head. Careful for your fingers. Get through the spine. There we go. Through the spine, we still got a little bit of skin here. Let me get that. All right. And then if you see, you get these nice, like kind of triangle type cuts on the head. And you lose almost no meat. Okay, let's throw that in the bucket for now. Get these guts ripped out. They did not come with the head that time. Sometimes they do. Don't see any food coming out of this one's stomach. The smallmouth that Scotia cleaned up had a bunch of sawbellies that are coming out of their stomach, or alewives. Depending on where you are, to call different things. Okay. And now we just got a bunch of blood sack and whatnot that we got to clean out. We're going to bring this over to the sink, do a quick rinse, and it's going to be ready for its salt bath. Let's see you over there again. Okay, let's get these last insides rinsed out, and then we're going to be ready for our salt bath. Just like to flip them upside down, and just kind of let the water flow under and through them. The last little guts that we missed, any little bits or pieces. And we're not too concerned about getting every last thing on this first cut. Okay. Get this all cleaned out. I'm going to finish rinsing this off and we'll meet you back at the table for the salt bath. Alright, so we got that all cleaned up and ready to go. We got all these nice bass that Scotia had cleaned up for us earlier. Look at that. My wife does a really good job cleaning these fish up. Alright, we got our nice rainbow trout all cleaned up. He's ready to go in here. And they're just going to sit in there for a day or so. We're going to fry up, actually probably going to bake the trout and fry up the bass for Scotia's birthday. And then we're going to freeze the other two for football season, which is starting really soon. Woo! Alright, so all this is, let me take this off and just show it to everyone again. We just fill up a big tub with water and salt, and we put just enough salt to where it doesn't really dissolve anymore in the water. It's already set up, so I'm not going to put more in there right now, but I just wanted everybody to know exactly what we're doing here. The salt kind of draws out all the yuckies inside the fish, and when you go to cook it up, it's really good and clean and fresh and awesome. Alright, so we're going to put these in the fridge, and we'll see y'all when we cook them up. Alrighty, so it's been a day, it's been soaking in salt water, and our trout's ready to get seasoned and cooked up. Before we do that, I just want to bring it close to the camera for everybody to see, because it has this beautiful pink line. I love these rainbow trout. I just want to show it off good for the camera. Try not to drop it. I love these fish. They're one of the prettiest, they're one of the tastiest, they're one of my favorites. Okay, so we're going to start off, and I got my Italian seasoning blend. I'm using this Badia brand, but it doesn't really matter too much what brand you use. The main thing to me is that it has thyme in it. I love having thyme on most of my fish. So just going to get a little spritzel on the outside. Don't get too much on. Then we're going to do some on the inside. Flip it over. The other side. Okay, and we got some adobo. Again, this is the Badia brand adobo I use. Same thing, just a little spritzel on the outside. Spritzel on the inside, flip it. Spritzel the other side. Okay. Do a little bit of pepper. I'll make sure I'm a little more sparing with the pepper. A little bit on the inside. Oh, let me move this. Sorry. Should have done that sooner. And a little spritzel of pepper on the outside. Okay. And the same thing with the salt. That's the most sparing, just a little bit of salt because we had them in the salt water. Okay. Now we get to the good part. We have our butter and garlic already prepared. We're going to get some on what would be the underside. I'm just going to lay this all out like a nice bed of butter and garlic. It's going to be really good. Okay. And I'm just putting a double row. This is all just going to melt, and the fish is basically going to like kind of just take a nice warm bath in some butter and garlic. Get a little bit down here. Okay, now we're going to put some inside the fish. Let me just load it up. Whole bunch of garlic in there. Okay. Now we're going to put it down on that little bed of butter we made. This is going to be so good. Okay. Then we'll put some more butter down. And as this melts, it just kind of like bastes it. It just kind of just coats it, and it's just so good. There. Alright, and we'll take the last of our garlic and we'll just kind of spritzel it along inside the butter and on top of the fish. It's going to be really good. Okay, we got our oven preheating at 375. Once that's done, we're going to throw this in there for about 10 minutes or so, and we're going to take it out and check it. Okay, so the oven's done preheating. We got our fish buttered, garlicked, and seasoned. It's all ready to go. So we're just going to throw it in, set the timer for 10 minutes, and then we're going to check it then. Okay. Alright, close that up. We're going to set our timer for 10 minutes and check it then. There we go. Alright, so we'll see you in 10 minutes to see how this fish is looking. Okay, we're almost done here. Just a few seconds left on the timer. It's so cute. Okay, let's check our fish out. Oh, I left my pot holder on the other side. I gotta get used to my new kitchen. Alright, I'm just gonna take a quick check. Peel the skin back a little, look at the meat. It's actually pretty close, but not quite yet. Okay, we're gonna need a few more minutes. I'm just gonna set the timer for about 4 more minutes and we'll check it again. We'll see you then. Okay. Check it one more time. I think it's going to be good now. Okay, I think we're good. Something to put pots and pans on, but in the meantime, I have my trusty oven mitts. Okay. We're gonna go plate this up and we'll see you at the table. Alright, so we got it all here at the table. It's gonna be a yummy meal we got for Scotia's birthday. This is actually the first of 2. We're eating this a little bit earlier in the day. It's just kind of a drizzly, rainy day, so we're going to eat this now. And then we're going to have a smallmouth for frying up later with asparagus and stuff.
She spoils me.
I love my wife.
I love you.
So we're going to do the catch, clean, cook video. I love you so much. We're going to do the catch, clean, cook video with just this trout. And we're going to end it here. You are going to see our romantic dinner tonight with the smallmouth and asparagus. Alright, let's serve this up.
Alright. Can you do the honors?
So I like to normally do is just kind of peel the skin back. Expose it all that yummy meat.
Oh, looks delicious, honey.
Thank you.
It smells amazing too.
It smells so good. Okay. And I just kind of use a butter knife and a fork. sometimes just a fork and just kind of peel the skin back and it just all comes away, and then you get to where different fins are and the bones will just peel right out. This was actually one of the fins on the bottom for the fish. Okay. And I'll just score it here down to the vertebrae. Let's see if I can get a nice piece to pop up for you.
Bring that plate over for you. Wow, look at that. You'll see that? Look at that.
It's hard for me to film it right, but let me just serve it from the platter like that. I'm gonna get myself a few pieces. I'm gonna pull the skin back. And even though the skin gets peeled back where all the seasoning was, because of the way the butter drizzles down and through it, it pulls all that flavor and seasoning in throughout the fish. To a fin back here, and we just pop it with the bones. And that skin and that fin and all those bones pop right out. Alright, let me get myself a piece now. I'm making a mess, always make a mess. I'm not so bad when it's off camera. But I try to get it where I can see it on camera, and then it's probably not a good shot, and I mess it up. Okay. There we go.
Alright.
Alright, let's try some. We got our butter garlic sauce. Now in this sauce this time, I just mixed up butter, a little bit of garlic powder, some of that same adobo badilla seasoning we used earlier, and some of the Italian mix, Italian herb blend. Let me just melt it and then drizzle it on with a spoon.
Pardon me.
You okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh my god, honey, that's so good.
Happy birthday, sweetie.
Thank you.
I love you so much.
I love you. This is very good. We're gonna finish this up and enjoy the rest of our day. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Some more. This is so good.
Oh my god, it's delicious.
Turn off the camera.
Right.